Hello everybody, this is RJ here. This is Push Airlines. Guys, if you guys don't know me, I have a channel called Push Aviation and my website is pushaviation.com. It's a channel where I upload flight simulator videos, mainly Prepare 3D videos. I'm planning to go on to explain as well, but that's a still iffy kind of thing. I'm not too sure. But I've uploaded quite a few videos there. I have 52 videos as of today on on at Push Aviation, and you guys can check it out. More than happy to do that. And basically, I'm going to continue uploading videos on that channel as well. But this channel, Push Airlines, I want to dedicate this channel for air hauler videos. Air hauler is an excellent program that adds a whole new level of simulation to flight simulator. It's kind of like the behind the scenes kind of thing. And I just want to say straight out that I'm not working for just flight sim or air hauler team in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a customer, and I'm a happy customer, I should say. It is an excellent program and it's really worth buying, and it gives you a reason to fly in Flight Simulator, and it's really excellent. It's really cool, you guys. So today what we're going to do is I deleted the company that I've had. I've been flying for about with this program for around 3-4 months now. Maybe I don't know. I can't remember the exact time. Maybe more. I don't know. But it's been really good flying using this program. I've gained so much experience. It's really fun to fly. But I want to fly a little bit more general aviation aircrafts, and I hope you guys enjoy this. So basically, I want to delete the company that I had, and I want to start fresh using a new company and in a career mode. So let's do that. New company, prepare 3D. Company name is Push Airlines. All right, pilot handle is my name RJ. All right, so I'm going to start with career mode, which gives us $250,000 with 20% reputation and the Bonanza 836. Now you can sell the Bonanza 836 right away for $276,000, a little over that, but I'm not going to do that because I have Piper Comanche with me, but I want to buy it separately, but I want to keep this aircraft as well because this airplane, Bonanza 836, can haul quite. It can lift pretty well, so it can take a lot of cargo. And so as cargo pilots, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use this airplane. It's efficient as far as it's like a Boeing 767 of single engines. That's all I can tell you. So I really like this airplane, so I'm going to keep it, use career mode, and further when our reputation goes up, we can probably buy loans and or get loans and buy some aircrafts and things of that nature. But anyway, let's go to next. And the airport that I'm going to choose today is Sonoma County Airport. The reason why I chose Sonoma County Airport is simply because of its location. Sonoma County is located about 40 miles north of San Francisco International Airport. It is not only in one of the busiest airspaces in the world, but it's also in the middle of the Silicon Valley of the country itself and Silicon Valley of the world, in fact. San Francisco is a home to a lot of software companies, and California by state itself is an agricultural state. So I can assume that there's going to be a lot of cargo on both the IT side of it, the automotive side of it, uh, and the agricultural part of it too. So I decided to choose California, but in this case, I'm going to choose Sonoma County, given its location, the expenses, and all of that good stuff. And if you guys want to know a little bit more about how much it's going to cost and things of that nature, you can actually go to choose the location, and it'll tell you everything. Like the landing fees here is $1,319 and goes up depending on a lot of things. Fuel for 100 low lead, that's what we're mainly going to use for today. $7.25, and Jet A fuel is $7.50. That we're not really worried about it right now. The only thing we're worried about is the low lead fuel. So, so really, it's a Really cool program, guys. This is something that's kind of like a must-have, especially if you're a flight simulation enthusiast. And this will really uh, help you not only get your flying uh, make your flying skills better because you're flying smaller aircrafts and eventually working your way up just like you would do in real life, but you're also gaining that experience of flying into a variety of smaller airports and getting that experience to face the challenges that you face in real world, especially when you land in smaller airports. So as far as next, I'm going to ignore water airports because in real world I'm not a pilot who has seaplane license, so really I'm not worried about it. Job volume, I want it to be more. Distance, I don't really care. Size of the loads, we can leave it open. Internal jobs, we can leave it high as well. And the airport size really doesn't matter for now, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Next, finish. There we go. Um, that's the new company called Push Airlines. So is the channel. Push Airlines is the name of the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy this. You do not have a type rating for this aircraft. Take the type rating test now. No. Um, I just want to go through a couple of things before I do the type rating test. Number one, I want to mention in real life, you don't have to take a type rating for smaller aircrafts like that, like the Bonanza A36. Um, all you need is a student pilot license, which gives you permission to fly with an instructor. Student pilot license is comes with your first class medical. So really, your first class medical is used as a student pilot license, and you can once you have it, you can actually go ahead and fly with your instructor. Of course, depending on the clearances you have, if you're a US citizen and flying in the US, you don't need those clearances. But if you're a non-US citizen, you have to go through the TSA, fingerprinting, all that good stuff. But anyway, you go through your instructor, fly the airplane. When he feels comfortable, he'll send you on a solo. And once you get close to around 40, 45 hours, in some cases 60 hours, you get your private pilot license, depending on how comfortable you're flying the airplane. Obviously, they're looking at some other things, and but here in this case, uh, in real world, all you need is an endorsement to get to fly a high performance aircraft such as the Bonanza A36. Once again, all you need is an endorsement that you have the knowledge and the capacity to handle flying a complex aircraft. That's all. So that is an endorsement that you get from your instructor. But in this case, you have to go through a type rating, which is kind of like getting an endorsement, in some cases kind of like a check ride. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Once again, if you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, requests, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Found this useful, educational, it's all good. Um, Lastly, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate all the support that I can get. Thank you very much, you guys. But continuing with the video, let's go ahead and take a look at the company information. So the fleet that we have is a Bonanza 836, which is a complete white color livery. And I'm going to buy the insurance and all of that in just a minute. But the condition is 100%. We do have a 50-hour check that we need to pay for. We do have a 100-hour check that we need to pay for and a 300-hour check that we need to pay for. Now these numbers in real world are similar, especially when it comes to small airplanes like this. But when it comes to airlines, it's a complete different maintenance program called as a CAMP. It's a continued airworthiness program, and it's customized to different companies. So really, excuse me, this is just limited to this aircraft, and let's take it one step at a time and see how well it changes when I upgrade the aircrafts later down the line. But anyway, for now, that's our fleet. Our base is the Sonoma County Airport, which is Charles M. Schultz Airport. The elevation is 125 feet. Discussed about the landing fees and the fuel prices. We do have uh, two runways over there, runway 01 and runway 14, runway 19er and runway 32. It's actually runway 14 and 32 and runway 1 and 0 or 01 and 19er. So the runway lengths are a little over 5,000 feet, which is a benefit to us. There is a lighted runway, which is runway 14, and it's all asphalt, so we do not have any restrictions overnight. And one of the runways also has ILS approach, which is runway 32, I believe, has ILS approach. So in case of lower visibility, we can also perform landing. So this airport is an ideal airport, especially for the operations that we are looking for in this specific channel. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So that being said, just a couple more things I want to discuss. This is the reputation. Reputation plays a very important role in this specific software, at least, which is the Air Hauler 2, simply because without reputation, you cannot get a loan, you cannot buy airplanes, you cannot lease airplanes. You can buy it as long as you have the money, but you cannot lease airplanes. So reputation is very important. So we're going to be working on all three kinds of reputation, which is cargo, passenger, and missionary reputations. So we're going to work on all three of them as and when we progress in this video series. So starting right now, we're working on the cargo reputation. As and when we have mission loads available, all the missionary loads, we're going to do that as well. So that builds the reputation as well quite a bit, which adds to the overall reputation. So once we hit that 40% mark, we should be able to get loans and buy better and bigger aircrafts. So anyway, guys, personal information as far as the finance is concerned, we do have $250,000, and the monthly cost for us in this airport is going to cost us $51,914 on the expensive side, but that's fine. And as far as flying is concerned, I'm still a wannabe pilot. In real world, they would call it a student pilot, but anyway, it's wannabe pilot. So we have to fly 10 hours to get our private pilot license and fly an additional 5 hours to get our instrument license, and so on and so forth. And I'll make sure that every video that I do here is updated so you guys can see my progress throughout this video series. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a new type rating on the Bonanza 836. It's going to cost me $469.52. And today we are not going to carry any cargo whatsoever, simply because today is a check ride. So, okay. So while Prepare 3D fires up, I'm gonna come back the moment the Prepare 3D fires up, and take it from there, you guys. So I'll see you. Hello, everybody. Welcome on board Push Airlines. Today we're flying the Bonanza 836, as you can see here. And let me go to my views here. There we go. Bonanza 836. It's a beautiful single engine airplane. This is where we're going to come in every single time when we come to the airport. In fact, we're going to be parking in this white spot here. And every single time when we come here to Sonoma County, this is our base. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a test flight today. In fact, it's a check ride or a type rating, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to follow the instructions on the screen, and I'm going to fly as per the instructions. Just want to talk a little bit about the softwares that I'm using despite Prepare 3D, Prepare 3D version 4.2, and some of the add-ons that I'm using. So the aircraft that I'm using itself is Bonanza 836 from Coronado, which comes default with Prepare 3D version 4. Prepare 3D itself, and I'm also using Orbex for Sonoma County Airport. I'm using Active Sky for Prepare 3D version 4.2, and then I'm also using FS Flight Control. However, I'm not going to use that in this specific video, but I'm going to be using FS Flight Controls for various other simulations, such as low visibility landings and things of that nature later down this video series. So that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. So let's jump into the cockpit and get this show on the road. So the aircraft is in a cold and dark state, and the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that, let me get these two out of the way. So make sure that the landing gear lever is in the down position, flaps are up, cowl flaps is in the open position, parking brake is set, battery is off, avionics switch is off, ignition is off, and we can choose the fuel tank that has the most fuel. We have full tank pretty much on both the tanks here. Let me go show it to you guys. So really I'm going to use the right tank for today's departure, and today's flight entirely is going to be on the right tank. And throttle is in the idle position, mixture is in the cutoff position, and let me go ahead and put the propeller RPM as high. So there we go. So circuit breakers on the left hand sidewall panel is all closed, and the right hand side is all closed as well. So at this point I can clearly say it's okay for us to turn on the battery, but before I do, left is clear, right is clear as well. So we're okay to go ahead and start turn on the battery and power up this aircraft. So let me do that. So the battery comes on, alternator can come on. You don't have to turn it on right now, but alternator comes on. We can turn on the beacon, navigation lights can come on, auxiliary fuel pump comes on. Get the mixture to rich, and now guys, observe the fuel flow gauge right over here. When I advance the throttle, I'm advancing the throttle right now. When I put it to full, complete open throttle, it should not exceed 13 gallons per hour. In this case it is 12.5, but it didn't exceed, but it should not exceed 13 gallons per hour. Throttle goes to idle, mixture cut off, fuel pump can come off, oops, wrong one, and the throttle can be opened 1/4 of an inch. At this point I'm okay to start the engine, so let me go ahead and start it while I advance the mixture. There we go, and set the mixture to high. And now I'm gonna, since the aircraft engine has been turned on, the alternator is usually running, so at this point it is okay for us to turn the avionics on. And our squawk code for today is going to be 1200, or for the next few flights, simply because we're going to be flying VFR. And as you can see, our RPM is a little too high, so let's bring it down to 1000 RPM, or as close to 1000 as possible. Okay, there's 1000 RPM. So now what I will do is I'll go ahead and start reducing the mixture slowly till I see a drop in the RPM. There is a drop coming in, so I'm just going to go ahead and advance the mixture just a little bit, just like that, and leave it at that. Now guys, one more thing I want to mention is I'm not going to be doing pre-flight inspection and the engine run-up in this specific video, simply because the aircraft has already undergone that. In real world I would be doing the run-up at least and the pre-flight inspection, just to show the examiner that I'm capable of doing it. But really, in the interest of time, I'm gonna skip all of that and just go fly right now. So, alright guys, so altimeter setting, let me take a look at the weather really quickly. So the weather is 0653 Zulu, wind 150 at 4 knots, visibility is 10 miles and greater, temperature is 14, dew point is 10, altimeter is 2976. So runway in use is 14. So I'm going to put 14 in here on the heading bug. And also the altimeter setting is 2076. So let me check that. Let me go to the left a little bit here. I can move to the left. This is a set camera view, so let me go back. Let me just zoom into the... There we go, it's 2076 is the altimeter setting. Or I'm sorry, 2976. There we go. And the airport elevation is 125 feet, so we're within 75 feet within field elevation. So let me go here real quickly. There we go. Alright guys, airspeed indicating 0, miniature plane level and direct, altimeter set to 8s, 75 feet within field elevation, vertical speed is 0, we are not using directional gyro, but instead we are using the HSI. So the heading, there is no errors caused by the gyros in this instrument, so that's pretty good. And also the turn coordinator, the ball is not in the center, but uh, that's fine. Suction gauge is in green, so we, and the engine instruments such as the oil temperature, oil pressure is in green. And lastly, we also have the CHT and the EGT, which is a cylinder head temperature, and the exhaust gas temperature is also in the reasonable temperature range. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and taxi the aircraft to the runway 14, since the wind is at 150 degrees, so I'm gonna just taxi to runway 14. And parking brake release. Guys, in the real aircraft, you really don't need so much power to move the aircraft. All you need to do is just move the aircraft and put the throttle back to around 1000 RPM, and the aircraft will slowly taxi out very well, actually, in a decent speed, not even slow. Around 10 knots, around there. And that's a very good way to do it, but in this one, unfortunately, you have to apply a little too much power, it feels like. Anyway, we are on Juliet right now, and we're gonna take a right on Yankee. Guys, I want to apologize to you guys well ahead of time, simply because I have an issue with my rudder pedal. So when I apply brakes, there's too much variation in the aircraft's direction, and I really am uncomfortable with it, but unfortunately it is what it is. So if you see me swerving around, it's not because I'm drunk, but it's because my rudder pedal is messed up. But anyway, it's overly sensitive. It's not messed up, but it's overly sensitive. Anyway guys, so I'm gonna stop here for a second. I'm gonna assume that the clearance for takeoff has been given to us. So basically I'm gonna turn the landing lights on, strobe light comes on, mixture is in the rich position, propeller RPM is high, cull flaps is completely open, and squawk code is set and altitude indicating, and we can also start the timer. At this point we are ready to take off, so let's go to the runway and get it aligned. I'm gonna utilize as much runway space as possible, so I'm not holding that center line, simply because I want to utilize the runway space as much as I can. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for a second. Now I'm gonna make sure suction gauge is in green, mixture is rich, propeller RPM is high, cull flaps are down, parking brakes are released, and flaps as required. So I'm gonna go ahead and slowly advance the throttle as we proceed forward. As you can see, suction gauge is still in green, airspeed is alive, engine instruments are good, oil temperature, oil pressure, cylinder head temperature, they're all good. 60 knots, 70 knots, 75, rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. And now I'm going to maintain this pitch till I get a speed of 100 knots, and then going to pitch up just like so. Just try to maintain that 100 knots as closely as possible. Just sliding off a little bit to the left, so that right bank. 3,195 feet. Autopilot comes on. Heading held. It's the marker, guys. It's a middle marker. I don't know, I have it in the off position and still the audio comes out. It's ridiculous and it's loud. So I'm going to use the autopilot as much as I can, really, because it's hard to control, especially a default aircraft. And if you're flying aircraft like Piper Comanche or something, it's a little bit more friendlier. But anyway, so 140 knots. I want to go ahead and start reducing the throttle to 2400 RPM, and I want a variable pitch of 2500 RPM as well. Throttle 24, there we go. And then I'm going to start cutting down the mixture when I'm over 3000 feet. Can go ahead and turn off the landing lights at this point in time. I can go ahead and increase the rate of climb, but I want to try and keep it as comfortable as possible and as professional as possible. So and all I'm doing is monitoring my airspeed to make sure that I don't exceed 165 knots. That's all I'm doing at this point. There's the outer marker. I don't know why that is coming. There's a marker mute. Oh, that's what it was. There it is. So marker has been muted. See if I can increase the vertical climb a little bit more. It's too less. There we go. And we're gonna maintain 3,200 feet. $200 feet to go. $100 feet. And there's approximately our altitude. Alright, so I'm going to cut down the mixture just a little bit. Okay, turn on to heading of 193. So I'm going to turn right to a heading of 193. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to reduce my mixture a little bit to see the rise in RPM just a little bit, or a drop in RPM, violent drop in RPM in fact. There we go, that should be good to maintain that RPM right there. Turn on to heading of 262, level 3095. 262 in the heading. That should be good. And 3,000 feet. So I'm going to reduce the throttle just a little bit, so I can maintain that airspeed a little bit. So let's do 3,100. That's good. 2,695 feet. So 2,700 feet. And a heading of 189 degrees. So we're okay to land. So what I'm gonna do is basically the airport should be behind us, given the information that we have. So what I will do is I'll make a right turn to a heading of north, or actually let's just do like 330 for now and see if we can spot the runway. And remember guys, the traffic pattern altitude is 1,200 feet, so So our airport should be somewhere within this area right there. So let's level off right over there. Now we have to land on runway 14. So we're going to do a right traffic pattern onto entry runway 14. As you can see, the airport is right over there. So what we'll do is we will abeam the tower. Let's actually turn a little bit to the left here, and let's come in at a 45-degree angle to the tower, and then perform the landing there. Then enter the downwind and all that good stuff. Actually, this is the airport, you guys. I'm sorry, that's not the airport. This one is the airport. Because that's where the panhandle is. I mean, the big U is. It's gonna explain all of that in a different video, but anyway, that's the airport right there. So what we're gonna do is once we have the tower in sight, we're gonna go directly to the tower at this angle here, and then and that shows that we are on a 45-degree angle to the traffic pattern entry, And then we can descend down now to 1,200 feet as well. And I'm not too worried about the airspeed as well, really, because 160 knots would be good the faster we can get there, so really not too worried about it. So I'm getting a better view of the airport, so it looks like the tower is somewhere just a little bit to the right to us. So I'm gonna turn right a little bit, just so I can make sure I'm perfectly aligned at a 45-degree angle to the tower. So the tower should be somewhere here, right? I think this is the tower. But let me get a little bit more visual on it. So we got the runway inside, so this is runway 32 right there. So basically the tower is exactly up ahead of us, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn left to align our nose to this one. So now we are at a 45-degree angle, and you can see runway 32. And we are coming in at a 45-degree angle, so we can enter the traffic pattern with ease. So now when I reach this line here, this sectional line, I'm going to turn left to a heading of 320, which is right about now. And that'll get me exactly running parallel to the runway. And as you can see, this is the runway we're going to land onto. And there we go. We're running parallel to the runway, and then we're going to start reducing our airspeed because we need to get our gear down. So I'm going to put the throttle to 1,500 or 15 inches of mercury. So propeller RPM high, mixture is rich. I'm going to monitor the 1,000-foot marker here. So this is not the runway we're landing. This is the runway. So 140 knots, gear down. Alright, so we're about beaming a 1,000-foot marker. So it's time we start reducing the airspeed, and we can go ahead and disengage the autopilot. That's fine. We're in the white arc, so 1 notch of flaps come in. Just gonna continue flying here real quickly. Nice trim and everything else. So you want to start your turn 45 degrees from the viewpoint of the runway. So 100 knots is being maintained, which is really good. That's what we want. And we want to start descending as well at this point of time. So maintain that 100 knots, and that'll give you a smooth and nice 300 feet per minute descent. I'm going to start my turn to the base at this point of time. We don't want any rapid descent at this point. 100 knots on the airspeed approximately. We're getting a nice smooth descent. You can take a look at it as well. There's the airport coming in. Okay. So straighten out here, right here. That's 90 degrees. And I'm gonna slowly start my turn to the runway as well. Airspeed is good. At this base, you should always be at or around 90 knots. Or 80 knots, sorry. So it was a little bit slow, but anyway, there is the runway. And as you can see, it's hard to see in a simulator, but in real world, your head movements are going to be a little bit more precise. So I'm a little high, which is very good, especially when you're flying a general aviation aircraft. Some people don't like it, but a lot of instructors will recommend you to fly high because in case if you have an engine failure, you can actually make it to the runway with just by pitching down and getting that all that airspeed out. So that's how I land the airplane. Come in high and just land it really well. So what I do is put the throttle to idle.
500.
Final flaps coming out. We're nice and high. Throttle is in the idle position. Airspeed dropping down to 80. And I'm aiming for the 1,000-foot marker as well. See that airspeed? You're coming in nice and steep. You know you're going to make it to the runway. And that smooth flare coming
100.
out. And now all you're looking
50,
for is
40,
a very, very
30,
nice landing right there.
20. 10.
And then hold that flare right there. Keep holding that. And there's a greaser. That's all. That's perfect landing, you guys. So just let it roll. You didn't use even a bit of runway here. Because if you come in flat, the tendency is to keep a little bit faster, and that'll cause a lot of problems because you end up using a lot of runway as well. But when you come high, you're not only creating a lot of safety gap, but you're also dropping your airspeed quite well. So flaps up. We don't have the landing lights on, which is absolutely safe. We don't even need the strobe lights on, in fact, when you're flying VFR during daytime. All you need is the anti-collision lights, and that's it. You don't even need the navigation lights on. So in this case, we are overly prepared. So anyway, so let's go back to our parking spot, you guys. And so I'm gonna take taxiway Zulu, which will be up ahead of us. I'm gonna continue the taxi here real quick while I turn off the strobe lights. You can turn the taxi lights on, and we're gonna take the next left right here, and that'll put us on Zulu. A little bit of the left turn right there, that's perfect. And that'll take us all the way to Juliet. Actually, it'll take us to Kilo. From Kilo, we can get on Juliet, or yeah, we can just take Kilo and park it in our spot. We can turn off the altitude on the transponder. The time can come off too. Oops. Stop. We can take a right over here. This is the movement I was talking about, you guys. My rudder pedal is so freaking crazy. It's very, very sensitive. This is this taxiway has no name to it, but this is just like a like an apron or a ramp area for Kaiser, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna taxi all the way to Juliet from this taxiway, and then stop like right in front of this building right there. So it's a really good location to get a lot of cargo activity in this area. So I really think that it's we're gonna get a lot of cargo. And anyway, since we're done with this flight, we can look for jobs, which you guys are gonna see in my next video. But that'll be my first cargo job, and I hope you guys like this kind of videos. It's guys, as far as the software is concerned, Air Hauler 2, it is absolutely something that I recommend you guys because it adds a whole new level of challenge into flying. Gives you a reason to fly, and really, sometimes you really get bored to fly the flight simulator simply because you have no actually reason to fly it. But when you have a reason to fly, it really creates a whole new level of challenge, and I think Air Hauler 2 just does a phenomenal job of doing that. Excuse me. So I'm gonna park right over here. Just gonna straighten out the aircraft a little bit. There we go. And park right over here. Alright, so parking brake set. Cowl flaps is open. In fact, I should have closed it while I'm cruising. I'm gonna do that on my next video. But what we can do is cut the mixture. Make sure you turn off the avionics. Congratulations, you have passed with no issues. Okay, awesome. Navigation light off, beacon is off, alternator comes off, ignition off, battery is off, taxi lights can go off at this point in time. Really, we don't need it. And as far as fuel is concerned, we can put it in the off position. Did I? Yes. Fuel is good. And as you can see, the fuel is still pretty much in the full. We really didn't fly a lot, but anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, requests, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked this, found this useful, informative, knowledgeable, educational, entertaining, whatever it is, please hit that like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, and that will help support the channel. Alright, you guys. See you guys in my next video.